All right, San Diego, Southern California, what's going on? Hour one of Johnny and Jimmy with you until 6 p.m. Kevin Acee will join us. Padres off day. There's always things that happen when the Padres don't play. So Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 4:30. Why today as opposed to Friday? Because the Padres play tomorrow afternoon in San Francisco. The Giants home opener at 1:35. So Kevin will join us at 4:30 this afternoon. Yesterday, we briefly touched on this, Jim. Right. In addition to Wadey and all this.
And Campy and Crone Zone.
And every nickname.
And Swarry.
But by the time, Marty was in the clubhouse.
Some love right now.
Yeah, give Crone Zone some love. Marty was in the clubhouse postgame yesterday, and we talked about it briefly, but we were on the way out of our show. And I know Darren talked about it today as well. But, this idea, and we've said this a lot over the first week of the season, the Padres want it to be clear, we're not the 2023 Padres. For better or for worse, we are not the 2023 Padres. That almost should be their hashtag. We're not the 2023 Padres, for better or for worse. So Robert Suarez, affectionately referred to as Swarry, goes 5 outs yesterday for a save, which is not something. Yeah, there he is, Swarry. That's not something we saw a lot of a year ago.
No, we actually didn't see any of that last year, John.
Correct.
Like literally not one time did a Padres closer, a.k.a. Josh Hader, come in and have a 4-out or even a 5-out save.
He didn't have a 4-out save last year.
He might have had one.
Okay, but he didn't have a 5-out.
Never a 5-out.
He wasn't even willing to have a 5-out save against the Phillies in the NLCS.
Never a 5-out.
Okay, so this is Joe Musgrove postgame. Again, a reminder, we're not the 2023 Padres.
Correct.
This is Musgrove being asked about Suarez's or Swarry's 5-out save.
Yeah, it's big. Wandy's, struggled a little bit today, but coming in and getting the double play ball and then, having that little blunder and still finding a way out of it's big for him. And having a closer that you can go out there and rely on for more than just 3 outs is huge to us here. So he's always willing to take the ball, and we're grateful for it.
I feel like I should have put in that World Star. Oh,
shots fired. Pew, 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 pew. Shots fired. Pew, pew,
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Okay.
Like that was a direct shot at Josh Hader.
Yeah, but I don't know what you're talking about.
You know that meme whenever somebody has a mic drop moment, and they show that crowd going, "Oh
my gosh!"
Yeah, I do. You use it.
I use it all the time.
Social, yeah.
Because I know what it's from. You don't.
I have no clue what it's from.
No idea. Your knowledge of world events that aren't sports is it's a little low.
What are you saying?
Like, do you know what's up, brother?
See, I don't even know that.
I don't know that
exactly.
Do you know do you want a rose?
Yes.
It's from The Bachelor.
No, it's actually, will you accept this rose?
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway.
You're fired. You know what that's from?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That was a 100% direct shot at Josh Hader, and he knows it.
The Apprentice.
I know, John.
Carry on.
Musgrove knows what he's doing. I think if you asked him, off the record, he would be very open and say, yeah, that's Josh Hader would not close games more than 3 outs last year. And we think in this clubhouse that if he was willing to do that, maybe it's a different situation and maybe we're in the postseason not last year. If he's willing to do it.
Subtle with that answer.
I know he wasn't, which is just because he didn't say Josh's name. A lot of times players might be like, you took that out of context. How do you know who I was talking about? Maybe I was talking about someone else. We know who he's talking about. 100%. Even though he didn't say his name, we know he just called out Josh Hader for last year. And if you want to read into it a little deeper here, there were reports about Josh Hader and his unwillingness to go more than 3 outs. And then at the end of the year, kind of dismissing, like, I'm not going to close a game unless it's 3 outs.
How about what playoff race? Like, what? 0.01% chance of making the postseason.
So from that standpoint, yeah, he might not have said Josh's name, but he was referring to Josh Hader 100%.
You don't think he was talking about Mark Melanson or Keone Kella or whatever that guy's name was? Remember him?
Trevor Rosenthal, who was here?
Yeah, you don't think so? You think it's going right? And I completely agree with you. I feel as if they're doing everything in their power, including the manager, Schulte, to say we're not the 2023 Padres. This idea, remember coming out of camp, Kevin wrote about, we will have an approach for every plate appearance of the season. We will give nothing away, as if to say they gave a lot away in 2023.
Correct.
And we've seen a lot of that. Oh, we're going to get off to a fast start. Why? Because we didn't in 2023.
Correct.
So that, to me, is the theme of 2024. Let's not repeat the mistakes of 2023. Hey, Juan Soto, he had AirPods in.
No AirPods here.
No AirPods here. Yeah. Doesn't it feel like that? Like they're making it as clear as possible that we want nothing to do with Bob Melvin or Juan Soto or Josh Hader or even Blake Snell.
Yes. It's abundantly clear. Those were the problems. Those were the issues. This team, we don't have those issues anymore. We are not going to be like last year's team. And this is a completely different team. Still with a lot of the same players on it, but we are going to be completely different. So the first 9 games of the year, could you say that they're a completely different team?
Completely different team?
Are they I guess voided of anything in 2023?
No.
Okay.
Would you say that?
No.
No, I think there's been some. I would tell you, and I've said this a lot. I think there's indicators that they've made some improvements. I think they've been better with men in scoring position. Yesterday, notwithstanding, 0 for 11. I think their offense has been improved. They've had a couple of 10-run games. That's something they never had a year ago. I think their pitching hasn't been as good as 2023, but I'm still confident in it. But no, I can't definitively say that there's not going to be like some type of repeat performance based on this 4-5 start. They're not 8-1.
Yeah, and from that standpoint, it is still early it's early in the season in a sense of we don't know exactly what this team is. We don't know who they're going to be. We don't know what the true identity of this team is going to be. From that standpoint, we know nothing. And that's okay. Not every team has to have an identity 9 games into the season, especially if it's a new team with a new manager and a lot of new pieces on it and players that, won Cy Youngs and finished top 10 in MVP voting aren't here anymore. Like it's a different team. Even though there's a lot of same players, it's a different team. So we just don't know that yet. But yeah, this constant blame, and we talked about yesterday, this constant blaming of the players that were on this team last year for the reasons why they didn't make the postseason and that they're gone, and because they're gone, things are going to be different. I would tend to say let's just wait and see on that if things are truly going to be different, because as of right now, there has been a lot of points in this season where I don't feel like they are.
Well, I would just say this is like they better have better results, or else what do we even say then at the end of the season? I guess the only intrigue then is, well, what are you going to do at the top of the front office? I mean, if you can't win in 2024, which I don't think anyone's fully convinced they can, it's not like they're vastly improved from 2023 from a roster perspective. We don't even think they are improved from a roster perspective. That doesn't mean they win more games, but it's like we've said all these things about 2023 as if to say it won't happen in 2024, but what if it does? Like if you get to the end, I think Las Vegas says the Padres are going to win 82 games.
Yeah.
Well, the Padres last year won 82 games. So if you fast forward 6 months and they win 82 games, who are we blaming? I think there's an easy answer, actually.
No, there's an easy answer for sure. But we're not even close to that yet. We just know the outcome of if those things happen, like you said, we know where we will go for the blame. And it's pretty simple. But we're still a long ways from that. That person is sitting there. Those people are there, right? They're being looked at the most for the success or potential downfall of this team, and they'll heavy as the head that wears the crown for them. But we are a long ways from that, and they have an opportunity here, a real opportunity to truly wipe away last year's skid mark and make sure that this season's different.
Do you think that the Dylan Cease trade, remember the quote from AJ Preller paraphrasing was, hey, this proves that we believe we're a contender or we want to be competitive? Or does it prove that if you don't do it, this is your last shot? This idea that you are interested in Luis Arraez as recently as spring training, are you interested in Luis Arraez and Jesus Luzardo because you're trying to save your job? Because you have to be contending, not contenders. Like, I want to be careful. I think you have to be a playoff contender in 2024. And you're realizing without Arraez, without Luzardo, without Cease, we're not.
I think it's the same thing that Preller has done for the last 4 seasons is try to acquire as much top-end talent as possible to try to win. It hasn't worked, but he still continues to try to do it because he believes that acquiring the most talent, top-end talent, will be the best shot to win. So he continues to do that. I really don't see the Dylan Cease and going after Luis Arraez and Jesus Luzardo as a like, oh my God, my job's in the line. If we don't win this year, I'm
so it's
gone.
Not desperate.
I don't see it as a desperate play. If he was desperate, he would have kept Juan Soto.
Yeah, but he might not have been able to. That's the one thing. Like we're talking about, these are two different avenues. Yeah, theoretically you keep Juan Soto, but if someone's telling you can't because of the money, which by the way is backed up with them not spending.
True.
So like he has this idea, and he told us in January, hey, we'll look for bargains, we'll spend some of that money, but they didn't. Is that his choice or is that ownership's choice? And I've spent a little bit. Cease coming back has added some salary to this club, but like he may have traded Juan Soto because his hands were tied.
True. I agree with that.
Right. And maybe they wouldn't have been tied by Peter Seidler. And also what we heard from Eric Katsenda was we're all accountable for the team's performance, including AJ Preller and myself and Eric Rubner.
Right.
And when I heard that, I'm like, yeah, I'm checking in on Jesus Luzardo too.
Right. I'm checking on those guys and making sure I make this team as best as possible. But yeah, we just are looking at the 2024 Padres right now and hearing those comments from Joe Musgrove, which is a clear shot at Josh Hader. You're right. They are trying to do everything they possibly can to tell everybody that the problems with last year's team are gone. And because of that, we are potentially going to be better off.
Who are they? Are they almost speaking to themselves? As in, if you're Joe Musgrove and you're asked that question from Marty yesterday, and I'm glad she asked it because it elicited a really good response about the 5 out.
Everybody was thinking it.
What now? It would have been very easy if I'm Joe Musgrove yesterday and you asked me about Jim Russell's 5 out save, Jimmy's. I would have been like, you know what? Yeah, he's pitched really well to start the year. We're really going to need that throughout the course of the season. And he's done a lot of good work for us, including in 2022. And I'm excited to have him in the closer role in 2024. As in, you didn't have to go there. And like we both said, he's measured. He understands what he's doing. He didn't say it off the cuff.
No.
He thought through it. He's very smart.
Yeah.
So why did he do it?
Like,
is it because I have to let everyone know this is not that team?
Yeah, I do. I think there's a part of that thinking in that answer. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
And kind of letting everybody know, hey, the problems are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The Josh Haders of the world who was not willing to go more than 3 outs. And if he did that, things would have been different. Like that's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That problem is gone. And we have somebody here that could be just as good as him, but willing to go the extra mile.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what we need. That's the difference now. The guys that are willing to do the work.
Yeah, do the extra.
Maybe that's better than having the elite talent.
And
you're willing to go further.
Right. And you could, if you want to make the argument that the Blake Snells of the world, who has always been known as a 5-inning pitcher, even though last year he averaged 6 innings. And,
he did.
And there's a lot of times where he's like, 6 innings, I'm good, instead of trying to maybe push it a little more. But it's hard when your pitch count's so high because you walk everybody. True. And then the Juan Sotos of the world, who they're so talented that there's times when it feels like they can just show up and go 3 for 4 at the plate.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe putting that extra work in or taking the ear pods out of their ear. And then the Josh Haders who would not go more than 3 outs. We're not those guys. We are going to be doing the extra work here. We have guys in this clubhouse that are willing to do the extra work. We have young talent who is eager to, get on the field and show that they belong there. And that is why this team's going to be different this year, is we don't have these selfish, egotistical players in this clubhouse anymore.
Was the groundwork laid actually on the first day of spring training when Xander said, I'll move? That was almost like the first indicator that maybe things would be different. Now, I would have argued yesterday or last year, and I really liked the way Bogart speaks. I enjoyed being there in person for his press conference. I think he's a really personable individual. He's got a lot of success on the field. So take nothing away from him, although his year was disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that there were a lot of people that would have said Bogart, some of what happened last year was a bit selfish. In terms of where am I going to hit in this lineup? Yep. I'm a shortstop, is what he said when he came over, which is fine. Again, you're talking about someone that might be trending for Hall of Fame in his career. But he felt like he was someone that was not really going to change or move for the betterment of the team. Now, to his credit, he has. Yeah. He made a big change. But going from short to second, he had never played professionally at second base. So maybe Bogart just changed his ways. Not that he necessarily had to. Again, he's a 2-time champion. And maybe you have gotten rid of some of the guys that weren't willing to change. Look at Tatis. People were super critical of Tatis, and rightfully so, us included. Motorcycle, not being fully truthful, suspension. But the guy, to his credit, seemingly has learned from a lot of it and is willing to do the things the team has asked for him since making those mistakes. I didn't hear any issues with Fernando Tatis.
Not one.
Not one.
That's why last year, even though he had a down year offensively, I look at it as like you get a pass, kind of, you know. Now this year you have to perform, and so far so good.
Mhm.
Like you understood maybe the struggles of last year and why you struggled. But the main thing was you had to be squeaky clean, you couldn't mess up, and you had to make sure that everyone in the clubhouse, more importantly, had your back. And that whatever happened is water under the bridge and everybody moves forward, which it seems like it has. That's a great thing. But, you know, this year's team, John, even if those quote-unquote perceived problems are gone and this team is better off in the clubhouse, that's great. That's awesome. If the team still wins 82 games, is anybody going to care about this team having better vibes and better, you know, camaraderie in the clubhouse? They're not. Nobody's going to care. It's about, at the end of the day, what's your win-loss record? Do you make the playoffs or not? This team was a bunch of douches, and they made the postseason. Anybody care? No.
No, that's always my argument. And to your point, if you're down 5-2 in the eighth inning with this quote unquote selfless team as opposed to a selfish team, what changes? And maybe something will. Maybe they are built more to overcome deficits than they were a year ago. Maybe they don't build like they did a year ago. But we need to see. We need to see that. Are they going to be that pesky, hungry, fighting group? Are they going to deal with adversity? Are they going to overcome small deficits and win? We'll see. We'll see if they're telling us they're different. Like Joe Musgrove, without any subtlety, said we're different. Xander Bogaerts, clear line of delineation between 2023 and 2024. New manager. We've heard a lot. Different. Will the results be different? That's the question. Will the results be different in 2024 or not? To your point, nobody cares if they're selfless and they all love each other if they go 80 and 82. No one's going to be like, wow, I love this team. Yeah, they went 80 and 82, but man,
They'll only love this team if they go like 86 and 78 and make the postseason. That's it. That's why, you know, a lot of times you choose the talent over everything because more often than not, talent wins you games. But if you are going to be at the end of the season and looking up and say, man, that team is super fun to watch, and I love all the personalities, and everyone loves each other and everything. Oh, they won 82 and 80 and missed the postseason?
Right.
It's not going to matter.
Right. They like wrote books about the 86 Mets, dysfunctional beer drinkers. Well, yeah, but they won the World Series.
Right.
Like if they were dysfunctional and went 60 and 102, it would have been a travesty and a train wreck. But they won the World Series.
The 04
Red Sox.
Exactly. The
93 Phillies with like the John Crux.
Yeah. The 2010 Giants. Exactly. Like those guys that like what? Those guys? What? Yeah. You know, it's about winning. And if team wins, that's the most important thing. It's the vibes are great. Cool. The clubhouse cancers, so to say, are gone.
Right. And don't tell me we all agree. Stop. Oh, well, Trevor Bauer, stop. There's still a line. We're not saying just do it at all costs, but we're saying you prefer to win than have a bunch of great guys and lose. That's what we're saying. You'd prefer to win. Yeah. With whatever group you have and lose. The ultimate scenario is having great guys and you win. Exactly. But can this team do that? It seems like the clubhouse is good. It seems like the vibes are good. It seems like everyone's on the same page. Yeah, the vibes are great, John. Everyone has a nickname. But can they win? And if they can't, none of that else, the vibes and the Shilty and the Suarez-y and the weighty, none of it matters. All right, Kevin Acee will join us again. Padres in San Francisco tomorrow at 1:35. So Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us at 4:30. Listen, we've been critical of A's ownership before John Fisher, but now John Fisher is almost criticizing his own organization as well. They'll move to Sacramento for at least 3 years, the A's, and play in a 14,000-seat ballpark beginning next year. Wait until you hear what John Fisher had to say about his own team. Is he rooting for them to lose or not? You'll hear that on the other side. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us at 4:30. JD Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director, will swing by at 5 p.m. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, the A's are temporarily, quote unquote, moving to Sacramento, and their owner wants them to lose. That's next.
All right, this update is brought to you by the San Diego International Airport. Padres, they have an off day today. They'll take on the Giants tomorrow, starting for a 3-game series in San Francisco. It's the Giants home opener, so 1:35 will be first pitch there. Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the Padres this weekend. And, of course, this weekend we have the Final Four, which you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. It'll be UConn taking on Alabama. UConn is actually in Arizona, so they'll play the games. And then it will be Purdue taking on NC State for an opportunity to go to the national championship game next Monday night in Arizona. At San Diego International Airport, parking should be stress-free. If you're traveling soon, make a parking reservation in advance for the Terminal 2 parking plaza or curbside valet. It's as easy as 123 at sandiego.org/parking.
All right, Jon and Jim with you. Kevin Acee at 4:30. Dan Hurley, head coach of the Connecticut Huskies. Jim was just talking about the Final Four. You can hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760.
Is he joining us at 5:30?
Yeah. So what time's he on?
He's 3:45. No, he's speaking with the media right now in Phoenix. This is an interesting quote. Dan Hurley on waiting last night to fly out of Connecticut. Remember, they didn't take off. Bless you. They didn't take off until 1 a.m. Eastern. They landed after 3 a.m. Pacific. This is Dan Hurley on waiting to fly out of Connecticut. It was therapeutic to watch the de-icing. He's a weird guy. He is a weird guy.
That brings us back to the kind of our point in the first segment. You could be weird. You could be unlikable. You just
gotta win, man.
You win. It doesn't matter.
That's exactly right.
It doesn't matter if a guy's good or not in the clubhouse or a quote unquote perceived like douche. Like, if you win, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. That's all people care about. And a lot of times when there's a change of a head coach, like in college, you'll hear the president or an athletic director say, they did a nice job with like graduating student athletes and philanthropically, but ultimately they didn't win to the level we were hoping that they would win it. It comes down to winning. I mean, that's what this is, right?
And the great thing about San Diego State, they not only win, but their entire operation is like top notch. And the people that work there, that are employed, the coaches, the players, it's hard to say any bad words about any of those people because you all like them and they're very likable people. And it's a great combination. You get a best of both worlds. You don't get a bunch of like people that are hated and like Dan Hurley. A lot of people think Dan Hurley is very cringe and you don't like Dan Hurley because he just does weird things, right? You don't get that here at San Diego State. You get the winning and you get the likable factor as well with everybody.
Well, 100%. And a lot of, over the last, I'd say, week or 96 hours, there was speculation on SC's coaching vacancy. You even asked Mark Ziegler on Jon and Jim.
Yeah.
Because there were those that cover the Pac-12 or SC specifically, even John Wilner a week ago throwing out names like Brian Dutcher and Eric Musselman, who was at Arkansas. He just took the SC job today. As for USC's AD, like, you better take big swings. You should be reaching for coaches like Musselman and Dutcher. Now, San Diego State fans kind of laughed at such a report saying, well, hold on. He's been here a quarter century. He got the head coaching job 7 years ago. All he has done is win. He just signed a 5-year deal with a buyout over $10 million. He's not going anywhere, right? And that, once again, proved to be the case. This is a rarity. Even coaches at the top of the profession, like Brian Dutcher, will move. I mean, think whatever you want to think about Eric Musselman. There's another good example of someone that isn't exactly universally liked.
Right.
But you know what he did at Arkansas? He won.
Yeah.
And what he'll likely do at SC, by the way, is probably win. But again, guys like Musselman, who are at the top of the profession, guys like Dutcher at the top of the profession, even those guys move sometimes. But Brian Dutcher, that's an amazing thing about San Diego State men's basketball. That level of consistency.
And back to the point real quick before we talk about a true clown in John Fisher. I see a lot of people in the chat and on our text line. Well, what about Trevor Bauer? He's a douche and he's unlikable, but he can help you win. There's always also a line.
Well, didn't we just say that?
I know. I'm just reiterating. Like, there's a line.
Right.
And for people out there that might be just be tuning in and hearing us say those things and then reiterate, like, what about Trevor Bauer? He can help you win. Trevor Bauer, while he also is probably very unlikable and perceived as a douchebag. Like there's a line there.
Right. If it was only that, okay. If it was just that,
if it was just that, was fine.
Of course, then he would fall in that category.
But the distraction and everything that he would bring to the team was not worth it.
Here's the last thing on that, and not that it has to be relitigated. I think that's the right term. He admitted wrongdoing.
Yes.
He admitted wrongdoing. I'm not saying he's criminally liable. He hasn't been.
No.
He admitted wrongdoing.
Right.
And that's why no team, it's not just the Padres, no team
Exactly.
has signed him. All right. John Fisher.
Clown.
Heir to the throne of Gap or whatever. Made his money with the Gap fortune. Owner of the Oakland A's, who will leave this October, unless they go on that World Series run. Maybe it'll last till November. Can you imagine that? So they're moving to Sacramento temporarily. They're saying either 3 or 4 years. I believe they'll be there for forever, by the way. I really believe they'll be in Sacramento for forever.
Yes.
They're going to play in the Rivercat Stadium. It seats 10,000, expands to 14 with the lawn. I mean, it seats 10,000 people, which is more than they draw, by the way, in Oakland. He had this to say today at the press conference at the Stadium for the Rivercats in Sacramento. Take a listen to this.
We're excited to be here for the next 3 years, playing in this beautiful ballpark. But also being able to watch some of the greatest players in baseball, whether they be athletics players or Aaron Judge and others, launch home runs out of this very intimate, the most intimate ballpark in all of Major League Baseball for the next 3 years.
Are we alive back there?
Yay! Sacramento wants him.
Who did he pay to clap during that
I have no
presentation?
idea.
There are so many things to say about John Fisher.
Dude, he just said,
but
you're going to see Aaron Judge homer.
To openly promote other players on different teams.
I never like that.
To like do well against the team that you own.
I never liked it.
I just feel sad, man. I feel sad for A's fans.
You know, like the marketing idea, like, hey, the Chargers are in San Diego. Hey, come see the Pittsburgh Steelers in San Diego. Like, wait,
no.
Or the marketing message with Messi and MLS. Hey, come to a New England Revolution game and watch Messi. Like, what are you? Why are you promoting the other team's players? I never like that messaging. I get it. You
hate it.
Sure. Sometimes if you go to San Diego, maybe you want to see the New York Yankees. They're in town. Okay, we can go see the New York Yankees. But the Padres shouldn't be promoting that fact. They should say, hey, the Yankees are here Friday through Sunday, and it's a Tatis bobblehead.
Yep, that's what they'll do. They'll promote the team that they
exactly.
It's in town. They're not going to. They're going to say, hey, come watch the Padres take on the Yankees with Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr.
and fireworks tonight.
Fireworks, whatever, you know. But the Padres are great at marketing the Padres.
They are.
The A's and John Fisher are a complete clown show. There was also a report today that the Oakland A's grounds crew found out about the move today on social media.
I saw it last night.
Nobody told them. Nobody told them that essentially their jobs are done at the end of this season.
Well, they might have wanted to. They probably should have gotten the hint.
Probably
over the last couple of years.
Probably, but the intimate ballpark thing, it doesn't work. Guess what? We've seen it with the Chargers. The intimate ballpark like pitch,
it just gets laughed at.
It's just stupid.
It's just funny because they say intimate. How can you get more intimate? You guys had fans committing sex acts in the bleachers at your home stadium. You're going to get more intimate than that.
Well, you're also going to see the probably less amount of fans at this ballpark than you saw at the Oakland Coliseum.
No, I disagree.
Hey,
I disagree.
They'll save money on the tarp, though.
I think they'll sell every ticket for every game. Let me explain why.
Because there's only how many tickets are there?
10,000 seats. I think they'll claim at the end of 2025 we have the highest percentage of capacity in baseball. We sold every ticket because when the Padres play there, you're selling 10,000 tickets. When the Dodgers play there, 10,000 tickets is nothing. And Sacramento is not going to have the same distaste. They're just not. And people in Sacramento want major league sports. Like people in San Diego want major league sports. If the A's aren't a good example because we have baseball. But if the Oakland Raiders would have come here and would have been laughed out of Oakland and handled it the exact same way as John Fisher and played in a 30,000 seat stadium here, they'd sell it every game.
Shame on baseball. Shame on Rob Manfred. Shame on John Fisher. Shame on every single person that is allowing this to happen because it makes your sport look like more of a joke. And John Fisher has now taken the crown of the worst owner in professional sports.
No, recency bias. It's not worse than Dean Spanos. It's not. It's the same thing. It's all the same.
Dean is up there, but
you can't say but he's better. You could definitively say Dean's better.
No, I'm not saying he's better. I'm just saying what John Fisher is doing is more of an extreme than what Dean did. Like to a next level, like major league style, like openly rooting for the other team. Dean was horrible. Dean is horrible, but John Fisher is doing things that you're asking yourself, like, is this real? Like, is he really actively promoting Aaron Judge hitting home runs against his own team?
But did that put it over the top for you? That makes him now worse than Dean Spanos?
No. There's been multiple things, like just taking away promotions, taking away things at the ballpark that is actively making the fan experience worse. Now Dean did those things. He never upgraded the stadium.
It's the same book.
But it's the same book. I just think that John Fisher is taking it to another level than over Dean.
70470 started with team. What do you think? Is this worse than what happened with the Chargers in San Diego, the way John Fisher has treated the city of Oakland?
I think it's a lot like that Who song, meet the new boss, the same as the old boss.
Yeah, that's what I think. Okay, College Football Super League, like all Super Leagues, is a bad idea. Yeah. We'll explain why on the other side. Plus, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us at 4:30. Stay with us. All right, a complete game changer has been Almond RX for me over the last month. These Almond RX packs, I've been on the go, traveling around San Diego State men's basketball without a lot of time, just on the go, looking for something that is healthy, that curbs hunger, that's tasty. I've been bringing Almond RX packs with me everywhere I go, and you should as well. Look no further than Almond RX, all right? The first and only skinless almond fortified with vitamin D, which means it's an immunity booster founded by a San Diego sports medicine physician. Almond RX is packed with a powerhouse of nutrients supporting your heart health, cellular health, and gut health. There are other healthy benefits as well. And you can find Almond RX, of course, right here in San Diego County, Foodland, any Foodland in San Diego, Harvest Ranch at Encinitas, or at almondrx.com. That's ALMONDRX.com. In fact, if you go there right now, almondrx.com, you're going to get free shipping on your order of $25 or more. So check him out right now, one click away, almondrx.com. Free shipping on orders of $25 or more. I love them. My wife loves these packs. My 5-year-old son, Jones, does as well. And you will too. Check them out right now at almondrx.com. Kevin Acee will join us at 4 p.m. We have JD Wicker on the show just after 5 p.m. We want to talk to him about this Super League that The Athletic reported on yesterday. We touched on it briefly. The article from Stuart Mandel, Andrew Marchand, who I think has been out with Gary over the last few years. The article is Inside the College Football Super League, one powerful group's idea to fix a quote-unquote dead system. Without getting into all of it, the idea is pretty simple. All the Power Five is in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the Group of Five can promote or relegate, like soccer. You're in Europe. You can go up or down. If you're good, you're in the Super League. If you're bad, you're not. That's the idea, and then all the money. But JD Wicker tweeted last night, interesting concept through relegation. Then he puts in all caps, only for the quote unquote non-power schools. And he says, is a non-starter. Just because you have more money doesn't mean you're better. Let the results on the field decide it. We always talk about this. Closed system with football, open system with like men's college basketball, for example, right? All the conference champions are in the men's tournament.
Yeah.
Football's not like that. So, yeah, that's the thing. The idea of promotion and relegation, okay, that's kind of unique. Why is it? And I heard Darren use this as a specific example today, maybe Stuart Mandel as well. Why is it Vanderbilt can go 5-50 in their last 55 games and automatically be in the top 70, but then San Diego State, Boise State have to scratch and claw. They can go 10-1, 10-1 to fight for one of these additional spots to be in the quote-unquote Super League. Like, if it's promotion relegation, so be it. That means Alabama can stay up or they can go down if they go 0-12. But why is it just promotion and relegation for teams that aren't in the Power Five?
Full transparency, I am so confused by all of this.
What's your biggest question?
I don't even know where to start. Like,
look, there's 140 teams, give or take.
Explain it to me like I'm an idiot.
Jones. You are an idiot. I explain everything to you like that.
Explain it to me like I'm Jones.
Okay.
A 4-year-old kid.
Jones. There are 10 M&Ms. 5 of them are
M&Ms.
coveted, powerful green M&Ms. Okay. The other 5 are the other colors.
But I want to eat all the M&Ms.
Yeah, because you're 5, you idiot. Let me explain it to you like you're an adult.
Okay.
Imagine if in the NBA, the Western Conference was a power league and the Eastern Conference wasn't.
Okay.
And the Western Conference teams were guaranteed every year to be in the postseason, and one of the 15 teams in the Eastern Conference was the 16th team.
Okay.
So all that work being done by the Sixers and the Celtics all year, one of them's getting in, one of them's not. The other 15 are guaranteed their spots in the postseason.
Even if like the Sixers and the Knicks are both like
60 and 20.
80-2.
Yeah, basically.
Only one of them gets in.
Exactly.
One of them is 79-3. The other one's 80-2.
Of course, that would never happen. But yes,
that's my point.
But the point here is the Super League would guarantee that the teams in the power leagues, SEC, Big Ten, yada yada yada, stay in that league. They're protected. They get the money. They get the power. They get the influence. Everyone else has to fight for it. Mountain West, American, you got to play your way up into the quote-unquote Super League, but you're not guaranteed a spot there. If you then don't play well the next year, you drop back down to the non-Super League. Kind of makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, I agree. The idea of promotion and relegation I actually don't think is stupid, but it's either for all or for none. Right? So, like, my example would be if Penn State one year goes 1-11 and San Diego State goes 11-1. Sorry, Penn State, your spot's up. You went 1-11. Why are you guaranteed to stay there?
It's
because you're a blue blood, because you were good in 1967.
I think that you're just going to confuse a lot of people with this.
It's early
because I feel like fans of these teams will be like, wait, what? Like, everybody is so used to conferences and conference play and conference championships. And, with the college football playoff expanding to 12 teams, it gives your team a better chance to make the playoffs and yada, yada, yada. But when you start adding in like relegation and super leagues and essentially making like these conferences irrelevant, I think you're going to confuse a lot of people. And I understand the point of like adapt or die. The way of college athletics is changing, so everything has to change with it. And you can't stay the same, because if you stay the same, you're falling behind. I get all of that. But this feels like an extreme to me. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong. I think what people are saying, because I listened to Stuart Mandel with Darren, I think they're basically saying this system is so broke. The NCAA is facing so many lawsuits that these student athletes are about to be employees. We need to figure out a way to make this thing actually work. And one of the ways to do it, as TV executives have said, you're not maximizing TV because you're selling it all off individually. So ESPN could choose, hey, we want the Big Ten, but we don't want the ACC. I'm making that up. In the NFL, you can't say, hey, I want the Cowboys, I don't want the Jaguars. You can't say, I get the NFC East, I don't get the AFC East. So you either take it as an entity or you don't. And that's where they're saying you're missing out on millions beyond that. Millions and millions and millions of TV revenue. The idea of this, real quick. Ohio State, if they weren't in a league, like Ohio State right now is making like $70 million a year in TV because they're in the Big Ten, but so is Northwestern. Couldn't you argue Ohio State should get way more than $70 million if Northwestern is getting $70 million?
Because Ohio State drives everything?
Exactly. They drive the bus, but they're part of a league. So this idea that if you just had 80 teams as opposed to 140 teams, everyone in the 80 would get more money.
Well, then it's like saying in like the NFL, oh, well, the Cowboys draw better ratings than the Jaguars.
So get rid of the Jags.
So get rid of the Jaguars and make sure the Cowboys get extra money to spend on players.
I like that.
Like what?
We'll talk to JD Wicker at 5:10. He will join us, San Diego State's athletic director. You're confused.
I'm very confused.
And my M&M analogy didn't really work.
Yeah, because I was thinking to myself, if I'm a 5-year-old, I just want to eat the M&Ms, Dad. I don't care about your explanation of the M&Ms.
True.
Just give me the M&Ms.
And that actually speaks to the point. College football, despite all of its issues, is actually really popular.
Very
Even
popular.
with all the craziness.
It will remain popular as long as they have this college football playoff intact.
Probably true.
It will be very popular.
Kevin Acee will join us at 4:30. The Wrap will kick off hour number 2. Also in the 4 o'clock hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Neil Young and Crazy Horse, April 25th, 3 weeks away at the Cal Coast Credit Union Amphitheater. Hour 2, Jon and Jim. Kevin Acee at 4:30 next.
All right, this update is brought to you by the San Diego International Airport. Turn off your computer, you moron. Padres, they have an off day today. They're on their way to San Francisco to have a quick 3-game series with the Giants up in the Bay. Tomorrow, first pitch 1:05 in the afternoon. It's the Giants home opener. Dylan Cease will make the start for the Padres. And this weekend, it's the Final Four. UConn will take on Alabama. And then we have Purdue taking on NC State in the Final Four with the right to play in the national championship on Monday night. Of course, you can listen to all the action right here on the home of March Madness, San Diego Sports 760. At San Diego International Airport, parking should be stress-free. If you're traveling soon, make a parking reservation in advance for Terminal 2 Parking Plaza or Curbside Valet. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3 at san.org/parking.
San, what is this? .parking.
Don't go to that website.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. We're with you until 6 p.m. Kevin Acee is going to join us at 4:30. JD Wicker scheduled to join us at 5:10. We were going to talk to JD about the Super League, right? We've been talking about recently. But San Diego State has just released the following. I'm looking at it actually in real time here. That they have announced a Viejas Arena renovation study has commenced or begun. Is that what commenced means? Why am I asking Jim? I looked at Brian.
Commenced?
Just stop. So we can we'll talk to JD about this coming up at 5:10. Here's a quote from JD in the release. We're committed to improving the fan experience at Viejas Arena. We began considering renovations in 2019, and due to the pandemic, had to delay the exploration. We need to continue to evolve and improve the fan experience and provide the best home atmosphere for our men's and women's basketball teams. The study will explore ways to improve the main concourse amenities, including creating new in-venue social spaces, Jim, food and beverage options, increasing premium and hospitality experiences throughout the arena, and exploring complimentary services outside the arena to meet the needs of the growth of the west side of campus.
Wow.
So basically, we've heard this before. JD's obviously been on San Diego Sports 760 over the years, and this has been broached previously, but it sounds as if they're fully underway with a renovation study with an idea of future renovation considerations. Does that make so? They're going to go through a study. They're going to see what their stakeholders, so to speak, want in a renovation, and then they'll commence a renovation, which, again, makes sense. The building was built in 1997. It's been an amazing home for San Diego State men's basketball, obviously.
Yeah, they've already upgraded the video board.
Video board upgrade, exactly. They have the NCAA tournament in 2026 again. It's going to be, I think, the 4th time they've had it, maybe the 5th.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be about 30 years old, 96, 97. So, yeah, it seems that would seemingly make sense. And again, no better time than now off all the success you're having in men's basketball.
Oh, yeah, perfect timing. Viejas is a really nice arena.
I love Viejas Arena. I think it's a great college basketball arena.
Very great college basketball arena. But there are definite upgrades that you could do there for sure. Concourse, you can upgrade that. Seating areas, you can upgrade that for sure.
Could you add suites or hospitality? I
don't know
how
where
you would do that.
Do
you know they have that one suite? You know what I'm talking about? At mid-court, halfway up. It's like tucked in.
Yeah.
You've probably been in that room before.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a suite there, but I'm wondering if you could add in hospitality or suites to the building. We could talk to JD about it.
Well, usually the area for I guess the VIPs is right behind the,
like the
benches,
seats.
the bench seats. Maybe you upgrade that area, like make that more, I don't know, intimate or just, I don't know, better.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's definite ways to make things better for sure. So yeah, that's a great thing for Viejas. And it's not just a basketball arena. There's how many events are there a year with concerts and
there's a ton.
Just, whatever it is.
I think I want to see Tyler Childers tomorrow. I'm not going to Country Act. I've seen Jay-Z there. You've seen a concert there.
I've seen concerts there. Yeah. So
it's a great building.
You can do so many things there at Viejas Arena, and that's why an upgrade always is welcome.
There was, I can't find it off the top of my head. Did you hear Darren with Scott? Is it Scott Lewis, right? Voice of San Diego earlier today?
I did not. No.
Okay. And this maybe is getting in the weeds. There was this idea that San Diego State, and I don't want to be misquoted here. I don't have the story in front of me. The idea that San Diego State's been approached by a group to potentially build an arena on the site of Snapdragon Stadium, SDSU West, that Mission Valley campus. They've been approached to build an arena there. That story's popped up over the years, but this study that San Diego State is underway with about a Viejas Arena renovation, and we'll talk to JD Wicker in 1 hour, I think would seem to suggest San Diego State basketball's future home is Viejas Arena, as opposed to building an arena elsewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Okay. Well, we'll talk to JD about it.
Why would you go another one?
See, that's a good question.
I mean, to get suites in there?
Right. I mean, you could go, if you really wanted to, if you could just snap your fingers and you built like an NBA-style arena. Right. Seats, I'm making up, whatever. Even if it's not an NBA size, because college arenas are actually getting smaller. If you look at the Big 12, they're like 8,000 seats, 10,000 seats. But even if you build a 10,000 seat, all the modern amenities in the world, all the suites, all the revenue streams you could possibly imagine, would you want to take it off campus, so to speak? Would you want to leave the heart of San Diego State's main campus to take it to the Mission Valley campus if you could just snap your fingers and do that? I'm sure they've, discussed that idea, and it sounds like they'd prefer renovating Viejas Arena.
I wonder if they're just use both arenas. I know when Wisconsin built the Kohl Center, what they did was the old field house where everyone used to play
volleyball.
Yeah, volleyball, women's basketball, a lot of those moved to the field house, and then like hockey and men's basketball, and that they were exclusively at the Kohl Center. So they used both of them. Granted, they were a lot closer because Kohl Center and the field house were, maybe a half a mile walk, which is a lot closer than it would be to walk from Snapdragon, down to where Viejas is.
Plus, then you have the entity trying to put up a new arena in the Midway. So San Diego's not going to build two.
Oh, is it hard building arenas and buildings in this town?
You're not going to build two arenas. I know that.
They haven't even built an arena. So yeah, it's very possible.
Correct. Well, what would be interesting, we're getting way ahead of ourselves, is if in the future a brand new sports arena would be considered for the NCAA tournament, because then San Diego State could play in it. You can't play in your own building. But if you got a bid from your same city, Gonzaga does this with the Spokane Arena.
Yep.
Then you could play games there, not on your campus. Anyway, JD Wicker will join us at 5:10. Kevin Acee will join us at 4:30. Right now, let's get to this.
Guys, will the Oakland/Vegas/Sacramento A's make the playoffs in this decade?
Dude, no, they will not.
And you thought the Angels of Anaheim of Los Angeles had a long name.
When's the last time they made the postseason?
Hasn't been that long. I'd say within the last 5 years.
Yeah, because Bob Melvin has been there. And they actually had good talent with Olsen and Chapman.
I would say 19. Did they make it in the pandemic year with 16 teams?
Oh, they made it in 2020.
Okay, so they made it this decade, actually. Then
2021, did they make it?
No, 2020.
2020.
Okay. They lost in the AL Division Series to Houston.
At Dodger Stadium.
Is that where it was?
Yeah, remember that? It had the Dodger Stadium, and then they came to Petco for the ALCS.
Right.
Nope, they won't. They won't make the postseason for a long time.
That was the third straight year, but yeah, they haven't been there since 2020.
You say long. When you say long, you say 10 plus years?
I say at least a decade.
No, I'll take I wish we could see through a bet on that, but it might take 10 years to see out. I think they will. There's so many teams that make the playoffs.
as long as I'll say this, as long as John Fisher owns that team,
even if they get to Vegas, and you're just going to get to Vegas and go 50 and 110 every year,
you're not going to spend it. They're not going to spend any money. And whenever they have talent, they just trade it away.
Not in 18, 19, and 20 somehow, right?
Well,
how many times did they make it in the decade? From 10 to 20 or 11 to 20? I mean, they had to make it 5 times. And that was with the smaller postseason.
Well, here's the thing, though. The stadium in Vegas, this theoretical stadium that people actually think is going to happen, I still am very skeptical on that, wouldn't even be done until the end of 2029-ish.
Well, no, there are 3 seasons in Sacramento, 5, 6, 7, with an option for a 4th 8. So they would either be in Vegas in 28 or 29.
Dude, they're not going to Vegas.
I agree. I think they'll be in Sacramento for forever, by the way.
They're not going to Vegas.
I can see it. What'd you say, Brent?
Oh, I was going to say there's situations a lot like when we would talk about the Broncos winning the AFC West, because they're still going to have to go up against the Rangers every year. The Astros are off to a crappy start now, but they got the Astros they're going to have to deal with every year. The Mariners are a team on the up and coming. So, they're going to have to overcome that too.
I'll say they'll make it in less than 10 years.
Okay.
Let's write this down.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I still think
because there's just so many teams.
It's going to take a long time. While they're going to be in Sacramento,
they're not going to
no shot.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. All right, next question.
Was Malachi Flynn's 50-point game last night the best performance ever by an Aztec in a regular season game? He didn't even start, by the way.
I know. He came off the bench.
In basketball history to do that. 50 plus off the bench. And his stat line had never been accomplished in the history of the league, which was 50, like 6 assists, 5 steals, 5 rebounds. Nobody had ever done it in the history of the NBA.
34 minutes.
He was he didn't enter the game, Jim, until under 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. That's amazing.
All right. So Kawhi Leonard's career high
45
was 45. Well,
obviously you have Michael Cage in there.
Yeah, I don't have Michael Cage's stats in front of me.
Well,
how many points did Michael Cage score in a game?
Well, I don't know, but not 50.
Here, let me look this up right here. Michael Cage.
Nothing like doing it on the fly.
I would say that 50 points, it's the most points ever scored by an Aztec player in the NBA.
But are you telling me, and
Cage's career high was 29 points.
But are you telling me that is the true indicator for best game ever? Because Kawhi has impacted some games in crazy ways.
Regular season games.
Right.
Postseason games is not even close.
Right. Yeah. If you say all-time NBA game, Kawhi's had like a dozen of them in the postseason that have been huge. He's been MVP.
Yeah, he's 2-time finals MVP.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't compare, but I would venture to guess that Kawhi's had some games of comparable impact than Malachi. Malachi last night, in watching the highlights, was so incredible because he did it at every different level. Getting to the basket, free throw line, mid-range game was beautiful. And then his three-point shot is really incredible. So hopefully this means more opportunity for Malachi Flynn. And by the way, I think he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Now, it was also in a loss.
Yeah.
So the team didn't even win the game.
Right.
It makes it better when you win a game. When you win the game, it makes it better. Like if I'm looking at Kawhi's best game overall here, 45 points against against the Utah Jazz. They won 122 to 116.
Well, what else?
I don't think Kawhi's ever been on a team as bad as the Pistons.
No, they have 13 wins. What else did they do? Was it like 45 and 15?
No, it was 45, 6 and 1 assist.
6 rebounds,
1 assist. If you want to look at maybe like more more stats involved here, I would say he scored 41 points in a win in double overtime versus the Wizards one game for the Toronto Raptors. He had 41 points, 5 assists, 11 rebounds, but that was also in double overtime.
Yeah. Well, it's up there. Malachi Flynn's performance last night is up
just
there.
In a vacuum. If you just told me the stat, I'd be like, whoa.
There were some people like, is this the most random player in the history of the league to do this? I'm like, he's not random. He just has not been given an opportunity. He's been in the league for 4 consecutive years.
He was on a really
good Toronto team. He's contributed when asked, but he's never gotten a lot of minutes.
He's a first-round draft pick. He's not like an undrafted.
And not only is he's a first-round pick and he's stuck. It's not like he was out of the league within his first year.
Yeah, he was an All-American college.
Correct.
So
next question.
He's known.
Where will Bronny transfer to?
I think he's going to transfer to.
That's a great question, by the way. It really is interesting. Does he go to Ohio State where his dad would have wanted to play? Does he go to Akron where his dad's from? Does he go to Duquesne, right? Because of the coaching relationship with LeBron?
Well, obviously the NIL is going to play a factor because he's going to be the highest paid NIL player in
will
the
it?
country.
But does he have to be when he has all those resources?
But the here is I think he needs to go somewhere where he's going to be able to play more and develop.
That's what I'm saying.
Because at USC, he was a role player at best.
Yeah, of course, it was a weird year.
It was a weird year, new coach and everything. But if he goes to a established team and he still is a bench guy, like, I don't know if that's the best thing for Bronny.
What could he go to UCLA across town again with his dad in LA?
Does UCLA have enough to get Bronny?
Well, again, but to your point, is he going to ultimately be looking for money, or is he going to be looking to develop into a quality player that can get to professional basketball? And where are you best served doing that? I don't know if it's UCLA or not. I'm just trying to think about some of the other options. His coach, Andy Enfield, is at SMU. Does he follow his coach from SC to SMU? Does he stay at SC with the new coach?
Here's an out-of-the-box place for Bronny.
Okay.
The G League.
Right. Yeah, right, sure. There's the elite. Remember that G League elite team?
There's the LA Clipper or the San Diego Clippers.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by it.
Because you go to the G League, and it's happened before with Scoot Henderson, right?
Mm-hmm.
A couple other guys like Jonathan Kuminga went straight to the G League.
Yep.
And he's turned out really well. But if you want to get,
those guys didn't go college then, G League, did they?
No, they went G League first. They never went to college.
Yeah.
Or no, Scoot Henderson, did he go to college?
I don't think so.
No, he didn't.
He went to that G League elite team.
Yeah. So if you want to get ready for the NBA as quick as possible, still make money, you're not desperate for money. And this is kind of like the fastest way to do that, to get play actual games that are more NBA style. It's the G League.
They have odds.
Okay, yeah, I saw these. San Diego State's on this list, aren't they?
Yeah, way down the list.
Let me see.
I'm not gonna go down that far of the list because that's not gonna happen. Number one on their list with 3-1 odds is Ohio State, then Oregon at 4-1. I can never say this one. Was it the one with his dad's buddy coaches? Duquesne. Yep, that place. They're 5-1. SMU is 7-1.
Yep.
Duke is 7-1, and then the Aztecs are 9-1.
Not bad odds.
San Diego State.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
Happen.
By the way, Murray in the chat saying Cage had 30 rebounds when he needed 28 to win the rebounding title in the NBA in the last game of the season. That's a pretty big game too. To win a rebounding title, he had 30, and to get 30 rebounds is basically 50 points, is it not? It's that rare, I would think.
30 rebounds is a lot.
Yeah, that's a big number. Next question.
Which Padres had the best start to the season?
Luis Campusano. Campy's had the best start of the season. He is turning into one of the best offensive catchers in the game. There's not many catchers in the game that you could say, yeah, you could put them in the middle of a lineup.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying Campy could be put in the middle of a lineup, but the way he's producing at the plate, I wouldn't be surprised if you did. And I don't think people would be like, what the hell are you doing, Schulte? If they did that.
Right. If they did that with Campy.
I would say Campy take away his blunder by not putting his foot on the bag, even though Schulte just excused it.
Yeah.
To me, best start of the season has been Luis Campusano.
Okay, you say Campy. I'm gonna say, you know what I'm gonna say?
Let me guess. Hold on. Ready?
One, two, three.
Jake Cronenworth.
Toddy.
Good Crone's on some love right now.
I'll say Toddy. And I'll tell you why Toddy. Because I feel as if he needed to bounce back to be MVP caliber, and nobody can say that off 9 games. But I can say he could be that guy based on what I've seen. He's hitting the ball as hard as he ever has. He's already hit 3 home runs. He's a brilliant fielder. He runs like a gazelle. Everything's there. I feel like it's now 2021 with Toddy here in 2024. Possibly.
I don't disagree with you.
Possibly.
I don't disagree with you.
So I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of the home runs he's hit. I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah.
He's at 440 something at Petco. That's a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. He is shown the pop that you wanted to see come back with him. And hopefully it doesn't, kind of fizzle out like it did last year. you want it to maintain, and he needs to be a 40 home run guy this season. He just does, or in the high 30s. Like if he hits 39 home runs this year, that's great.
What about Higgy?
One hit, it's a home run.
He's one of 2 players in the last 50 years with a home run and 2 caught stealings in the same inning.
Ooh. Murray in the chat
Murray
says Darby.
Yui.
Darvish
been really
Darvish
good.
has been really good.
He has. He's
3
been
starts.
awesome.
He's an ERA under 2.
Yeah. So there's some options.
Yeah.
They've had some guys that have gotten off to really good starts.
Darby. Oh, I think
Suarez
been good.
Suarez been great.
Suarez been really good with the 5-out save and the 4-out save against the Dodgers. Crone zone's been awesome.
Yep.
So far. Campy, Toddy.
You think this team was 8-1?
Bogey's been okay, except he has no extra base hits so far this year.
Yeah, it's all right. Table setter.
Yeah.
He's leading off.
Kimmy offensively has been average. Defensively has been elite.
Just name every player.
Wade's been a pleasant surprise.
Merrily.
No, his name is Action Jackson.
Oh, whatever.
Action Jackson has been fine.
And Paulie,
even though that's his real name.
Eggy.
Swarry.
All right, let's talk to Kevin
Yuki.
Acee.
How about Yuki? Yuki's been fine out of the bullpen. Yeah.
Let's talk to Kevin Acee.
What's Tom Cosgrove's nickname?
Tommy.
Yeah, that's right. Tommy.
All right, Kevin Acee, presumably in San Francisco or on his way for tomorrow's Giants home opener at 1:35. Padres and Giants. What does Kevin make of the first 9 games? Is Tommy Pham still an option?
Tommy.
Are the Marlins still an option for the Padres to trade with?
What would Luis Arraez's nickname be?
Arisey.
I mean, you can't be on this team unless you don't have a good nickname.
It's a good point. They might not
hey, Schulte, do you got a good nickname for this guy?
And if they say no, they don't acquire him.
They don't trade for him now.
All right, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider. Padres off today, getting set for a series with the Giants tomorrow afternoon. He'll join us next.
Give Crone Zone some love right now.
All right, guys, imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. No credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Jim just said he wishes. Hey, guys, it's Schaefer and Jim. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash. They're doing it almost instantly with Loan Pronto's AI-based system. You can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home, and you can use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. That is huge money. So a reminder, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards, get some money for a home improvement, literally hundreds of thousands at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Here's the number to call. Call right now, 619-207-4336. That's 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. One more time, 619-207-4336. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Equal housing lender.
All right, this update is brought to you by the San Diego International Airport. Padres, they have an off day today. They're traveling to San Francisco to start a 3-game series with the San Francisco Giants. Tomorrow, first pitch, because it is the Giants home opener, will be at 1:35. Dylan Cease on the mound for the Pods. And this weekend, it's the Final Four in Arizona between UConn, Alabama, Purdue, and NC State. Of course, you can listen to all the action right here on San Diego Sports 760. At San Diego International Airport, parking should be stress-free. If you're traveling soon, make a parking reservation in advance for the Terminal 2 parking plaza or curbside valet. It's easy as 123 at san.org/parking.
All right, back with you on Jon and Jim. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider. Padres off, getting set for the Giants home opener tomorrow at 1:35. So great to catch up with Kevin as always on San Diego Sports 760. Kevin, it feels like from the outside that the Padres, to some extent, have put their foot down to prove that this isn't 2023 anymore. And the latest example for me is Joe Musgrove essentially saying, hey, we really could use a closer that was willing to do what Robert Suarez did yesterday, which was go more than 3 outs. Do you sense that, like, that they have to prove they're not going through what they went through a year ago in the manner in which they're going about 2024 so far?
I would agree that there are a lot of things that they're saying and doing that are counter to 2023, and that is purposeful. Yes. As for Joe, I was getting other people and was not in the Joe scrum yesterday. Did not follow up with Joe, which I would have had I seen the quote before I went back upstairs, to specifically say, Joe, you are aware, right, how that is going to be seen. Did you mean it that way? What I can tell you after covering Joe now for 4 years is that I think it's safe to say Joe thinks about these things. Joe is smart. Joe, often speaks with a purpose and speaks from the heart. And I don't think it's a stretch where sometimes maybe conclusions are made and the wrong conclusion is made as the mob jumps on things. I'm not saying that Joe did not have something in mind or someone in mind when he said that.
And for this team this year, to have Robert Suarez be a guy that can give them multiple innings for a guy that's never done that before, is there risk there, or is it, is it something that they're going to do a lot of, you think? Because the bullpen is also a little bit shaky right now.
Right. There's a unique situation. First off, he was able to do it in his first appearance of the year because there was a week off afterward. He had not pitched. He had 5 days rest. He had not pitched in 6 days when he came in the game yesterday. And there's a day off today. Gosh, you don't know after throwing, 33 pitches? Would he even be available tomorrow? Now it's early in the season. He may be. But, there is something to that it is not what you would expect all year. I mean, guys like Robert Suarez, as in, 99 miles an hour, max effort guys, are not generally doing this more than a handful of times in a season. And if they are, they're young and you could infer that they're being abused by their team, which is something I would always want to a certain extent, stick up for Josh Hader for. He was, in a sense, abused, did have it used against him. Now, you want to get into the muddy waters of what did he owe the Padres last year? That's a whole other topic. But I do want to say that, there is some self-interest that is justified.
Our Padres insider, Kevin Acee, with us right now on Jon and Jim. I don't know if there's any player we've talked about more that is not a San Diego Padre than Tommy Pham over the last half year. Has the talk cooled now that we've gotten into the season, or is this still a possibility for a reunion with Pham and the Padres?
Sure, I think it's still a possibility. I think that there's a lot of possibilities. I think as we've been talking about for weeks, I think that they are looking at their team. They think they have a good team. They believe they need another bat. So, any number of things could happen, and Tommy could be one of them, unless, Tommy signs elsewhere, including, another country, because, he wants to play baseball. It's getting a little late for Tommy to go and prove himself somewhere else and hope to come back and make the big bucks. It's hard for me to believe that he's done. I don't think the Padres think he's done. But yeah, that and numerous other things are a possibility. I think they like their team. That is a far cry from being satisfied with their team and thinking that this is the lineup that will take them through the whole season to their goal.
Is there an update on Manny getting back in the field? Has he even been out, doing any drills in the field that you've seen of late?
Almost every day. He's back to playing catch, I think a week now. And it's out to 90 feet. Generally, these things progress to like 120 before then a guy is going to be like throwing. And so what Manny has been doing before virtually every game, at least night games, and even I think yesterday, he'll go out and play catch with Scott Hacker, the physical therapist, and then he will go over and take grounders at third. When he's at third, he will not throw the ball across the diamond. He'll just take the grounders.
So there's no, you don't know any timetable for his return to the field?
At least a couple weeks. Manny can be very insightful. Manny can be, very forthcoming. About his own health is not one of the topics that he generally is.
Yeah, no question about it. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He's with us right now on Jon and Jim. Kevin, I know you just published an article on Luis Campusano, where he is right now in his career. Obviously, he's had some paying big dividends right now offensively for the Padres in the early going. How does the organization feel about his development and where he is right now?
Love it. And he's always had a lot of fans inside of the organization, and he's had some detractors. And now it's like all fans. And I mean, I think it's the best story going, or arguably the best story going with the Padres right now. That doesn't, we'll see. Right? He's still got to stay healthy. He's, got to stay on the field and continue at this level. But you go back 20 or more starts, 105 plate appearances, I believe. He's got almost a 400 average. He's got like 1,000 OPS. He is, he is playing very well. He has worked really hard and made himself into an everyday catcher. And I honestly think it is one of the very, very good stories that has been happening here over the last year.
Is there a scenario when Manny does return to the field, whenever that is, that days that Campusano's not behind the plate, you could see him as their DH? Because when the bat's out of the lineup as of right now, that lineup looks a lot different, Kevin.
It sure does. That's why I think they're going to get another bat. But yes, that is a possibility. Especially they have, and I haven't talked to Mike. It brings up the question. Bob had no problem doing it, right? Bob Melvin had no problem, and some managers do, having your catcher be the DH because of the potential that you could lose them late in the game. But Mike is pretty innovative. I don't know where he stands on that, but they also have a guy, Brett Sullivan, who could come up, and Brett Sullivan can play in the field. Brett Sullivan is fast for a catcher. Maybe they bring up a third catcher at that point, and make some shifts there if that's something they decide to do, where Campusano continues to hit like he has been, and they decide that's what they want to do. Then that would be a move they could make. But I think that could happen. What you're talking about, I think. Also, the reason you're asking about it is why there's going to be another bat at some point.
Right.
It's interesting, Kevin, and maybe you wrote on it this offseason as well. It's hard to remember, but obviously the Marlins have a first-year GM. There have been reports about their desires potentially as we move towards the trade deadline, which is nowhere near us because the season just started, but maybe they would have interest in moving, their National League hit king, Luis Ariz.
Yeah.
Even a Jesus Luzardo, apparently the Padres had checked in on, but of course they acquired Dylan Cease. Do you make much of the fact that the Padres, it's AJ Preller, you can't make that much of it. He's had conversations with the Marlins about some of their stars.
No, and that is not a name that I had heard. Does not surprise you. How could it? As I read it by the Rosenthal story with Dennis, that it was all past tense.
Right.
And again, he talks to everyone, and but I'm not saying there was nothing there, but it's like it can become exhausting here. But like I've been saying for a long time, I really think that they're going to add a bat that he's never satisfied, but and I don't know that anyone is, right? That they need a bat. They need another bat in there. Does not surprise. That would be incredible. But I don't know of anything on the horizon right there.
Kevin, this isn't like the sexiest question after talking about trades and signing players, but the Padres' 5th starter spot was right now with Matt Waldron, and his first start didn't go particularly well. It's one start, but is this going to be like a flowing type of thing here that if guys like Matt Waldron don't perform, they could potentially put in a Johnny Burrito or someone else in that spot, or how do you view that situation right now?
Yeah, and I don't know how quick that trigger is, but I think that's a pretty safe assumption. And it's odd here now, right? Because of the last couple of years where it's really outside of injury, it's been a pretty set, like 10 to 12 guys, right? Like 5 or 6 guys each year, right? That are like, hey, these are going to be the guys who make their starts. But really, that's kind of how it is at the back end of the rotation. I thought there were really good things about Matt Waldron. I mean, the first inning was absolutely incredible. Now, one inning doesn't make a start, but this guy has the potential to be a pretty decent number 5 starter. But the answer to your question is absolutely that number 5 spot is something that could be in flux. And it is why you got Burrito. It's why Randy Vasquez is down and being stretched, being kept at whatever it is, 3, 4, 5 innings, so that he can come up and give you something out of the bullpen or starting. So absolutely, that could change.
Always good insight. First of 9 of the next 12 are on the road for the Padres. That includes San Francisco, LA, Milwaukee. So interesting start here. And again, the schedule in general, I mean, again, it's a long year, but you look at the schedule. I mean, there's some challenging series ahead here early on for the Padres. We'll see how they do beginning in San Francisco tomorrow afternoon. Kevin, we appreciate it. We'll catch up again next week.
Right on. Talk to you later.
The Ace Man.
The Ace Man. Must-win series in San Francisco.
Kev Dog.
If you want to get back to 500.
It's a must-sweep series for the Padres.
Basically.
Yeah.
All right, call right now. Who wants a pair of tickets to see Neil Young and Crazy Horse 3 weeks from today, April 25th at the Cal Coast Credit Union Amphitheater? We have 2 free tickets. First 2 callers will be our contestants for trivia. We call Trainwreck Radio. We have 2 free tickets for Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Here's the number you need to call right now, 877-767-4760. Call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see Neil Young. This is a great giveaway with Crazy Horse, Cal Coast Credit Union Amphitheater. Call right now, 877-767-4760. Our first 2 callers will be our contestants, 877-767-4760. That's next. All right, apologies, guys. We're behind on some super chats, like this one from our longtime viewer, JD Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Says, how about the Nelly 2 strikeouts major league save last night for the Dodgers? Of course, you would have the first Dodgers.
He's going to have
38 of them. It'll be like the Rolaids reliever of the year.
Right. It'll be like comeback player of the year, best pitcher of the year, everything.
Yeah, I'm not shocked, although I'm kind of surprised. I thought he was basically done. I really did think he was done.
The Dodgers.
I know. I didn't even know he was in baseball. I didn't even know he was in baseball. Thanks, JD Gotcha. Murray, thank you, man. He says, win or loss, is it finally time to bring Kim Ng to San Diego? So, like, despite what happens in 2024, you want Kim Ng? I have no idea what direction they would go if they made a change at general manager. If they win, they're not making a change. If they lose, I have no idea who the front runners would be. Did anyone predict that with the change in ownership within the last half year? We're only 9 games in.
If this season goes awry and we're in August, it's like we're talking about it.
So you don't think we're going to get a press release this weekend? Maybe should be the GM and Preller will be the president of baseball operations. Like we've always heard that's a possibility. It never happens. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. Thanks, Maury. Guys, appreciate the super chats. We get to them during our breaks here on the radio. Click the $ below the chat box. Make sure to subscribe here on Content for San Diego Sports Fans. JD Wicker, Aztecs Athletics Director, will join us at 5:10. Don't go anywhere. All right, JD Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director, will join the show coming up at 5:10 plus Trainwreck Radio. That's next. I can't speak for Jim. You can speak for
How do you know I'm
yourself.
excited to talk to JD?
Okay, that's why I said I think you are.
Maybe I'm not.
Announcing this afternoon that they will do a renovation study for Viejas Arena aimed at improving one of the best fan experiences in the country. So JD Wicker will join the show. Yeah, I'm excited to learn more about it. What Viejas Arena could look like moving forward. It's been the home of the Aztecs men's and women's basketball program since 1997. So you're pushing 30 years later this decade. So we're talking about like fan amenities, improving that fan experience. What does the future of Viejas Arena look like? Again, they have the NCAA tournament first and second rounds in 2026. I think with something like this, you're thinking about more of those events into the future as well.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. And you want to make sure this arena is good for the next however many
20,
years.
30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they got the cool video board, like you said. They sell every ticket.
Video board's awesome.
Yeah.
Video board is
It's a great building. It gets loud.
It's very intimate.
Yep.
It's the good intimate, not like the intimate that John Fisher's talking about. This is the actual intimate that you want in a stadium.
Right. Not, hey, we're a Major League Baseball team. Let's play in a 5,000 seat venue.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Idiot.
All right. So JD Wicker is going to join us coming up in about 20 minutes at 5:10. There's a lot more to get into with him as well. But right now, let's play.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Chuck and Mike. Chuck, you called in first. You have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
I'll pick John.
All right.
All right, Chuck.
Chucky gets Johnny.
Sounds good.
That means Mikey, you get me, okay?
Sounds good to me.
Mikey
All right.
and Jimmy.
Perfect. Brent, what's the question of the day?
No joke. I was going to get the big voice guy to cut a thing calling you guys Jimmy and Johnny, but there wasn't enough time to
Johnny
turn it
and
around.
Jimmy.
Oh, yeah, we need that.
So maybe next week. All right, guys. As John mentioned, you can listen to the Final Four this Saturday right here on San Diego Sports 760. Today's question: can you name any of the 11 teams that have appeared in a Final Four since 2022? So since 2022, there's been 11 different teams that have appeared in the Final Four. Name them.
That's a
No,
lot.
that doesn't make sense, Brent.
No, I did.
The 4 is always 4 teams, not 3.
Stop it. You're going to confuse everybody.
How could there be 3 teams?
That's a
one
lot
year?
of teams for just a couple of years. But
Well, every year has 4.
I know, but there's a lot. Means there's not a lot of repeats, John.
Who's up?
Mike is up first. Mike, what's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
San Diego State.
Hey, San Diego State made it. They have.
They have made a Final Four. Yes. Chuck.
Connecticut.
Oh, wait.
Whoa.
Whoa,
No,
relax.
one at a time.
We're going
To
back
take
and
turns.
forth. We're going back and
I'm
forth.
sorry.
That's
My
all right.
bad.
Chuck is up now. Chuck, what is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I will go with UConn.
Has
UConn.
UConn made a Final Four? They have.
Yeah, yeah. Good job. All right. Round 2. Mike, you're up. What's your second guess? And you do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Arizona.
Arizona Wildcats, who never make a Final Four ever.
Oh, no.
Are not on the list.
Oh.
When's their last Final Four? It has been a while, Mike.
Been a while.
I'll look that up.
All right, Chuck, back to you. What is your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I will go with Baylor.
Baylor
Bears.
Baylor.
Since 2022. I don't know.
No, they won it in 2021.
Yeah.
That's right.
By the way, Arizona's last Final Four, 2001.
Ew.
23 years ago.
Ew.
They're the Cowboys of
A little
college
bit,
basketball.
All right, round 3. Mike, you're up next. Your final guess. You do have a lifeline if you want to use it. What do you got?
Gonzaga.
The Zags.
Gonzaga, bro, you had a lifeline. Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Not on the list.
Chuck, you could win it right here with the correct answer. You can have the layup with the lifeline. What do you got?
He
I'm
doesn't
gonna
have
take
a,
a lifeline.
oh, he does have a lifeline?
He does have a lifeline, yeah.
All right. I'll give you the team. You may remember this game. San Diego State beat FAU in the Final Four. They did so on a Lamont Butler buzzer beater.
Oh, my gosh.
Charles Barkley and 75,000 people freaked out, and everyone on TV. Do you take Florida Atlantic University, FAU?
Yes, I do.
They were in that game. I remember it. I thought that happened.
Mike, bro, you had a lifeline.
He might not have trusted you.
But he's just like,
He probably thought you sound like Warriors.
he was
What was
so
your guess?
confident.
Yeah, what was your guess?
FAU.
Well, okay. What if it would have been off the board?
Yeah.
NC State.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been good.
Purdue.
Yeah, you could have said this year. Yeah, good point.
Miami.
Yeah. How about Villanova?
Villanova, North Carolina.
Who else? That was the loaded. 2022 was loaded. Who was in the 2022?
Duke,
Final Four? It was like
right?
Duke, Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah.
I would have gotten it.
Sure. All right. Who's on the list?
Did we miss
I think we
anybody?
named everyone, but
Miami and Alabama are the only 2 you missed.
Alabama this year.
I said, yeah.
Alabama.
That's right, Alabama.
All
okay.
right.
Well, what do they win, John?
All right. Congratulations to Chucky, who has won.
Chucky.
Where's my sheet? Where's the Google document? Well, Neil Young tickets is what you've won.
Yeah.
Neil Young, Crazy Horse.
Congrats. You
April
want tickets?
25th.
You read
A
it.
pair of tickets to Neil Young and Crazy Horse coming up on April 25th at the Cal Coast Credit Union Amphitheater. Of course, Ticketmaster. You can go to Ticketmaster.com for tickets and info. Congratulations to Chucky.
Don't quit the day job.
Did I mess it up?
No.
Well, it was written a certain way that I had to like read it a different way. Because
JD Wicker.
it's written Ticketmaster.com for tickets and info. Keep listening for your chance to win. So I definitely had to change that up.
JD Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director, will join us on the other side of a break. San Diego State Athletics announcing earlier today they will conduct a renovation study for Viejas Arena. Plus, what does JD think of a potential Super League coming to FBS football? Plus, we can look ahead to the spring game, what's coming to Snapdragon Stadium later this year. Whatever we can get to in about 15 minutes with JD Wicker. He'll join us at 5:10. Stay with us on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by the San Diego International Airport. Padres, they have an off day today. They're in San Francisco for the weekend, starting tomorrow afternoon. It's the Giants' home opener, so first pitch will be at 1:35 in San Francisco. Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres against Jordan Hicks for the Giants. And this weekend, it's the Final Four in Arizona. You have UConn taking on Alabama, then Purdue taking on NC State. Of course, you can listen to that action and all the Final Four games right here on San Diego Sports 760. At San Diego International Airport, parking should be stress-free. If you're traveling soon, make a parking reservation in advance for the Terminal 2 parking plaza or curbside valet. It's as easy as 123 at san.org/parking.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? JD Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director, will join us in about 8 minutes. We'll talk about some news out of the Mesa this afternoon. Aztecs Athletics announcing a renovation study for Viejas Arena aimed at improving the fan experience for San Diego State men's and women's basketball. So JD Wicker is going to hop on. I want to talk about the Super League, this theory that The Athletic reported on yesterday this idea that there could be a future for FBS football that is 80 schools, the 70 Power 5 schools, and other programs in the Group of 5 through promotion and relegation. So JD Wicker is going to join us in about 7 or 8 minutes. Now, Jim just shared something with me off air about the Shohei Otani first home run ball at Dodger Stadium. What's happening here?
Okay, so Otani had a home run last night, and Major League Baseball lost their mind as far as social media goes. Like, oh my God, Otani hit a home run for the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, he was going to hit a home run for the Dodgers.
Right. That's like his job.
And the fan that caught it, I think, I got to see if I got to make sure this is right. Because I think Otani said that he met the fan and got the ball back and gave the fan some stuff for it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fan is claiming that Otani never met her and that LA, I guess, officials or whatever were pressuring her to give up the ball for a low, quote unquote, low ball offer for it. Like she wanted this or that. And they're like, no, you're getting this. Give us the ball.
So she was strong armed into returning the baseball.
That's what it sounds like. And she never even met Otani, yet I'm pretty sure Otani claimed that he met her.
Well, hold on. We learned yesterday in Backpager this week that an Angels foul ball hit by Otani that was signed was being auctioned off or sold for $14,000.
Yeah.
If I'm this woman that catches this first ever Otani Dodger home run ball, first call I'm making is to a lawyer because that thing is worth a lot of money. So I don't care what she could have gotten from him. Now, she could have gotten some things of value, signed bat or signed ball. We're learning has value, but I'm not parting with that ball.
It gets here. Let me read from this article because this literally just dropped.
Okay.
The woman said the security staff separated them from each other, her and her husband.
Wait, what?
Pressured them and left them little choice but to hand over the baseball for a low ball offer. The Dodgers initially dangled up 2 caps signed by Otani in exchange for a ball that an auction house representative told The Athletic would be worth at least $100,000.
Oh my gosh.
That's when I would have got up and left.
No, that's okay.
With the ball.
Now, does she have a case though if she's already given up the ball?
Roman said the hardball tactics by team officials included the threat of refusing to authenticate the baseball if she decided to take it home.
Bogus.
This was no trivial matter. A lack of authentication would mean the ball was be worthless. The Dodgers, it says...
Did they dispute this?
Quote,
I'm sure they will.
We're not trying to extort anyone. It's not that we're money hungry. It's just that it's a special moment. It's a special ball. I just think it's fair for it to be equally rewarded. Quote, I was just disappointed that a team that I hold so dear pulled a quote unquote quick one on us. They left Dodger Stadium with 2 signed hats, a signed ball, and a bat. Slight bump after the opening offer was signed hats. They never met Otani, despite the two-way superstar claiming through an interpreter that he met the fan after the game.
Oh, that is really weird. That might be the weirdest part of the story.
So that is true. Wow.
So Otani says he met the woman who says she didn't meet him.
Here's what Otani said through his interpreter.
Which interpreter?
The new one.
The new one. Will, I don't know how to say his last name. Doesn't matter. Quote, I was able to talk to the fan and was able to get it back. Obviously, it's a very special ball. A lot of feelings toward it. I'm very grateful that it's back.
Yeah, but that could be lost in interpretation. I was able to talk to the fan could mean a representative from the Dodgers spoke to the fan. Right? Because we don't, that's hard. I was able to. Does he mean he literally spoke to the fan or the Dodgers did and got the ball back?
Well, that's what happens when things get lost in potentially translation. Yeah. If Otani meant that he actually met the fan, then once again, he's lying.
Oh, my God.
And if he, like you said, like a representative met the fan and he's happy that that happened and get the ball back, then this interpreter doesn't know how to interpret Otani.
But here's the thing. It's a bad look. Forget about the Otani part. For the organization, the LA Dodgers organization, they know going in, his first home run, especially one hit at Dodger Stadium, they're not stupid. They know this has great value. You should be providing an experience of a lifetime. If you want someone to give up that ball, you should be providing clubhouse access, meeting Otani, signed memorabilia, future tickets. Like you said, it's worth at the very least tens of thousands of dollars. If you're asking someone to give it up not for money, you have to provide them with an invaluable experience, not 2 hats.
Well, after, I guess, talking about it more, they bumped the offer up to 2 hats, a signed bat, and a signed ball.
Which, again, but that doesn't equate to a $100,000 auctionable item.
Dude, the second they came up to me and was like, well, if you leave, we're not going to authenticate the ball.
I'm calling
so
a lawyer.
It's worthless. I'm going to go, well, then fine. I'm leaving, and I'm going to chuck this MFR in the Pacific Ocean, and it'll really be worthless.
$250,000.
You ain't getting it either.
Yeah,
so
no.
Don't pull that crap.
You're right.
Nobody's getting it then.
Yeah, I would call a lawyer from Dodger Stadium.
Dude, how Otani, honestly, and I know we're going to have JD Wicker on her in a moment. Otani has become very unlikable.
Yeah.
Very unlikable. And it's not just because he's on the Dodgers. It's the whole situation with his interpreter, Ipe, claiming he knew nothing about it. Okay, yeah, sure, buddy. And the sky is purple. Well, sometimes it's purple.
Mm-hmm.
The sky's black, right? I'm not an idiot. And then this whole thing with the fan, like if you truly, again, lied and said that you met the fan, but you never met the fan, bro.
But that's so easy to cross-check, isn't it?
And I brought this up when you talked about his old interpreter. You should be interpreting everything he says. If he talks for 2 minutes, you tell me everything down to the syllable of what he said. Don't just go, oh, well, to sum it up, he said that he didn't bet on baseball and he didn't do any of this stuff. It's just like, no, tell us exactly what he said. Don't paraphrase it, because then you get in situations like this.
Bad looks is what it's bad on Otani. It's bad on the Dodgers. That's just a bad look.
Bad look. And it just makes it that much easier. You already hate the Dodgers more than anything, but it just makes it easier to just dislike Otani. And it sucks because Otani, before he became a Dodger, was beloved.
Enough about this.
True.
I want to talk about San Diego State with JD Wicker, who is the Aztecs athletic director. Really cool to see this release earlier today from San Diego State athletics and associated students announcing a renovation study for Viejas Arena aimed at improving one of the best fan experiences in the nation. JD, first of all, welcome back to Jon and Jim. Great to have you. I know it's been a whirlwind with men's basketball all the way to Boston last week. First of all, how are you? And thanks for hopping on.
It's great to be back on, or maybe my first time on Johnny and Jimmy.
Yes.
I am thrilled to be on. It's nice to be back in San Diego. While I would love to be in Phoenix right now. Good to be back. Great basketball season, a great run, and we ran into definitely the best team in college basketball. Obviously, they've still got to prove it on the court, but UConn's really good.
There's no doubt about it. And it doesn't take away from, again, an amazing year. A Sweet 16 back-to-back for San Diego State men's basketball for the first time in school history. So, I always come across Viejas Arena for me, JD, and I'm sure for you, is a great college basketball venue. It's been so good to San Diego State University. You fill it up essentially every single night for men's basketball. Talk about the future of the building and what this study is aimed to do moving forward with in my opinion, one of the great college basketball buildings in the country.
Yeah, no, the seating bowl in Viejas Arena is as good as it gets. I mean, just ask Steve Ballmer. I mean,
right.
Part of the Intuit Dome is built based on Viejas Arena. What we want to do is concentrate on those fan amenities, the concourse up top, the premium availability, the different options you can have from a premium standpoint. Obviously, we've seen what Snapdragon, with all of the improved amenities at a Snapdragon Stadium, what that looks like. So we want to do the same thing for Viejas and truly make it the best basketball experience in the country all around.
And with the basketball program being as successful as it has over, the last 2 decades, essentially, with Steve Fisher and Brian Dutcher, and then culminating in a national championship game last year, how important is it to make sure that not only you reinvest, for the program, but you also reinvest in their facilities that they're playing in?
Yeah, again, we want to make sure that, the student athletes, all of the spaces that they're in are top notch so that they're having their best experience. But one of the biggest things for them is to have an excited, energetic atmosphere. And so fans today, it's a great product on the floor, but addressing all of the other needs and making sure that experience from the moment you walk into the building to the moment that you walk out is as good as it can be for basketball. But, Viejas does a ton of other events as well. We want to be a great concert venue in San Diego. We do graduations there. We host other events. And we've shown with Snapdragon that you can have other events in the building outside of just San Diego State. You've got the Mojos playing volleyball at Viejas right now. So as many events as we can drive to the building and make it special for all the students in our community, that's a big thing.
JD Wicker with us right now, San Diego State's athletic director. Are we too early to talk about a potential timeline, JD, or is there something that the university envisions in terms of potential renovations once you receive the appropriate feedback?
Yeah, I think the first thing we're going to do, we'll do a market survey to our season ticket holders, to people who attend concerts, to the students on campus, everybody that utilizes the facility. We want them to have an opportunity to weigh in on what's important to them, similar to what we did with Snapdragon Stadium. We actually did 3 different market surveys for Snapdragon Stadium. So once we get that, then we'll sit down with the architects and we'll take a plan that we developed during the 2020 season. We've actually done a study before, and we're going to take that study and then based on what this market survey says, adjust that and understand how much it's going to cost and what are the different things that we can do, and we'll go from there.
I know you have to go through the study and everything, but for you, JD, what kind of things do you hope to, invest in here at Viejas? And could you give anybody maybe some hints on what potentially could be coming as far as reinvesting into Viejas to make it a better experience for the fan?
Yeah, I think at the concourse level, one, with the renovation of the ARC, which is the workout facility for all of our students on campus, we see a lot more traffic there. The way from a housing standpoint, we're going to see a lot of different elements being added on that side of campus. So there's going to be a lot more traffic on that side of campus. So it's going to allow us to hopefully take that concourse and, really make it more of a 365-day-a-year type of event, which allows us to add more variety and better options for our fans. We want to create some social spaces up at that level as well, where people can kind of hang out, watch the game, watch the event, but not actually have to be in their seat if they don't want to. We want to increase the number of premium seating opportunities. We're very limited there right now, and the spaces that support those. So those are the things that we're really, we're thinking about at this point.
JD Wicker with us right now on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. You kind of touched on it, this idea that maybe it's being used something like 365 days a year or more than that. Do you see the possibility of attracting different types of events, or what, how do you see it? I mean, you're already getting a lot of events. To your point, you're getting very high level concerts. NCAA tournament has been there a number of times, is coming again in 2026. Are you looking at more of the same, or potentially even different types of events moving forward?
I think we'll be open to anything. Part of it is you have to balance that we are in the middle of that have on, the day-to-day of campus, but at the same time, you want to continue to expand those revenue streams to help, fund what you're doing in the venue, and also, fund athletics and associated students who also benefit from running the building. And again, the more that you can get the community on campus, the more invested they're going to be in San Diego State. And then you think about the students that are on campus, the more opportunities that we can provide them. That's just better as we're recruiting students to come to what's already a great place in San Diego, but giving them one more reason to, to say yes to San Diego State when they get that acceptance letter.
JD, I know you're aware of it because you tweeted about it yesterday, this athletic report about this quote-unquote super league in FBS football that would include all Power 5 programs and a promotion and relegation system for group of 5 programs. Again, it's a big topic. It's not like it's something that's potentially happening tomorrow. It was just a proposal from a group. But what is your reaction to that type of system for FBS football?
Thing is we're going to have to figure something out with FBS football as we look at, athletics overall. But I am, really tired of just because you're in one of these conferences, then you're automatically, better than everyone else. We've shown that we can compete at this level. You look at where we were with the Pac-12 competitively, what we've been able to do bowl game wise, just across our entire athletic department. So I'm tired of the whole, if you want to do, relegation and all of that, that's fine. Then everybody's subject to it. Don't just because someone has more money in their budget, that makes them better than everyone else. So that was probably my biggest issue with it, but I am interested in, studying it further. And I am interested in figuring out a way to, continuing to grow what we do, offer the broad-based opportunities that we do today, but still finding a way to continue to invest in our student athletes.
We are close to April 20th, and that will be the spring game for the Aztecs football program. Coach Sean Lewis, first year as head coach. What are you looking forward to seeing at the spring game, and how do you think Coach Lewis has done with the program so far up to this point? I know we haven't had a game yet, but it seems like he's doing a lot there to make sure the program gets back to winning ways.
Yeah, Coach Lewis has been awesome. The way he and the staff have come in and worked with our current student athletes, they've been, he's very, very much on social media. He's been out in the community, and we're going to work on getting him out in the community even more once we get through spring ball. It's been great. I think I got paid probably the highest compliment I could get paid walking out of the building back in early February with 2 of our returning football players. And, they told me, thank you. We had sat down with seniors and other leaders on the team before we started the hiring process, and sat down with them and asked, what do you want out of, a new head coach? What are the different things? What's good? What's bad? And the comment was, thank you. You listened to us. And so far, Coach Lewis and his staff have delivered everything. So I'm excited for everyone to get a chance to see Aztec fast, and then also see what the defense looks like. We've got a great, some great young men who've joined the program this semester. So I think it'll be exciting. It'll give everybody a preview of what's going to happen next fall.
By the way, free tickets for that Aztec Fast Showcase, the spring game, available right now at goaztecs.com. That is April 20th, Saturday, April 20th at 1 p.m. JD, before you go, what's it like for you? It's got to be gratifying to see the growth of the women's basketball game on a national level. I mean, we're seeing stars upon stars. We're seeing the ratings. What does this mean for college athletics in general, and San Diego State as well?
I think this shows, and you look at the Women's College World Series in softball as well, and what that's generated. It shows that making the investment in all of our sports across the board, doing broad-based opportunities is important. And if you continue to invest, then you're going to continue to see different sports have moments like women's basketball is having right now. So I'm excited. Watched Caitlin Clark and Ellen in Iowa play LSU the other night. That was a lot of fun. Followed up with the UConn game. It was, so the Final Four, the women's Final Four is going to be really good. I think you'll see amazing ratings for all, 6 games this weekend. So looking forward.
JD, before you go, what do you want Aztec fans to know about name, image, and likeness right now? Whether it's Mesa Foundation with men's and women's basketball, Aztec Link with your other student athletes. Is there something you want fans to be aware of in terms of the role NIL is playing or what's going on in that space right now, both locally and I guess nationally?
Yeah, I think it's important to recognize what NIL is. It's a key piece of what we're doing with student athletes, and it gives them an opportunity to monetize and make a little extra money in addition to what we may be providing with a scholarship. Also, it's important that people remember Aztec Club, that we still pay for the scholarship, room and board, and coaches' salaries and all that. So hopefully people can find ways to invest in both. Aztec Link is our partner with the spring game this year, so you'll see a lot about Aztec Link there, and you'll have the opportunity to invest with Aztec Link during the spring game. Mesa's got some stuff going on this week, so it's all important, and hopefully people will continue to find a way to invest in our student athletes so that we can continue to have amazing outcomes and a lot of fun on the court, in the pool, and on the field.
Well, it's an amazing time on the Mesa. It really is. I mean, all the successes across all sports, the investment, Snapdragon Stadium, the future of Viejas Arena, the spring game in 2 weeks down there at Snapdragon. JD, we appreciate you taking some time for us. Let's do it again soon.
All right, guys. Appreciate it much. Appreciate all the Aztec fans out there, especially everybody who came to Boston. It was awesome that we actually, unfortunately had to turn some people away with ticket requests, but that's where we would arrived with men's basketball, and hope everyone will come out and support the rest of our sports like that and go Aztecs.
Great stuff, JD. Thank you. San Diego State's athletic director, again, JD Wicker, with us here on Jon and Jim. Yeah, Boston was incredible. They had ticket requests. They couldn't fulfill 3,000 miles away playing at TD Garden. Okay, we're going to get a renovated Viejas Arena.
Yep.
We're going to get a spring game.
Yep.
What else are we going to get? Things like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on.
It's pretty good.
It does feel like there's a lot going on. We talk about NIL.
Yeah.
We talk about facilities. We talk about investments. We
Right.
talk super leagues. There's a lot going on. Can you does he sleep? I feel like there'd be a lot of emails.
Just let us know when the renderings are done for the Jon and Jim suite.
Oh,
The Johnny and Jimmy.
Yeah, the Johnny and Jimmy sweetie.
Schulte was there this year.
I know. Schulte was sitting courtside.
Yeah. And Joey was too.
Remember that was a thing? It was like, Bob Melvin never went to an Aztec game.
God. Yeah, well,
But
I remember.
Schulte went to an Aztec game, so that means he's a better manager than Bob Sleepy Melvin.
Oh, real quick off the text line, this is hilarious. We're talking about Otani and them trying to lowball the fan for the ball.
Yeah.
2 signed hats and a ball is what I would expect for Graham Pauley's first home run ball.
I mean, honestly, let's talk more about that on the other side.
Unreal.
It is
hilarious.
unreal. What an unreal 10 days to start Shohei Otani's tenure in a Dodgers uniform. Plus Jim's back page. Stay with us. All right, there's already another Otani gate. It hasn't even been like 2 weeks. The latest next.
All right, this update is brought to you by the San Diego International Airport. Padres, they have an off day today. Their first real road trip is this weekend as they go to San Francisco to take on the Giants. Tomorrow, 1:35 first pitch because it's the Giants' home opener. Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the Padres, and the Final Four is this weekend. UConn, Alabama, Purdue, and NC State. You can hear all the action right here on San Diego Sports 760. At San Diego International Airport, parking should be stress-free. If you're traveling soon, make a parking reservation in advance for the Terminal 2 parking plaza or curbside valet. It's as easy as 123 at sand.org/parking.
Jim brought up a really interesting point, which you don't say every day.
What? I did.
Hey, wasn't April Fool's Day on Monday?
I know. Well, you said something. We're talking about this. Otani's first home run ball at Dodger Stadium. If you missed the story, the fan that caught it apparently was like lowballed by the Dodgers, right? Because this ball's worth a lot of money. Let's just leave it there for a second. But you brought up the point, like, is he the most disliked player in baseball? Now, I say no.
Active player.
He was so likable. If you would have ended his career at the end of his tenure with the Angels, you'd be like, this is like the most likable player in modern baseball history. However, it's funny how 2 weeks can change things. It's like they say, you can really ruin your reputation with one tweet.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 2 weeks, we've had one of the most massive scandals, arguably in baseball history. We'll see what the fallout is. Otani gambling gate. And now we have this, hey, I met with the fan and it was great. And in actuality, he didn't meet with the fan. And the Dodgers apparently strong-armed and lowballed a fan for this baseball.
Yeah. I don't think he's the most unlikable active baseball player right now. But his stock is definitely dropping. Like his likability factor is definitely dropping from a sense, it started with the whole money deferral thing. Everyone around baseball was like, what? And then the people, they're like, oh, it's good for the game. It's like, no, it's actually, we talked about it for like 2 weeks, how this type of stuff only the Dodgers could do. And how is that good for baseball?
Mm-hmm.
So that was strike one. And he went to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are just an unlikable team if you're not a Dodger fan.
Mm-hmm.
There's number one. Number two, the gambling scandal.
Oh, just that.
Just that has kind of gotten very quiet.
He wired $1 million+
with his name on it
to someone that's being investigated by the FBI, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
I know Major League Baseball when it did an investigation.
But the person that the money was wired to is being investigated as a bookie in Southern California.
Let's be real. Rob Manfred is a buffoon, and there's 0% chances that anything's going to come out of this that is going to discipline Otani in any factor, any form or way. It just, Rob Manfred sucks and nothing will happen. But there's strike number two. Perception's reality, and the perception is, we all know.
But that story's not going away.
Not going away.
There's going to be some follow-up there.
And then you get this situation. Again, could it be lost in translation? Probably. Brent makes a great point. Get a freaking translator that translates everything.
Or at least a transcript of what he says. I need a full transcript.
Yeah, you're paid to translate, not to paraphrase.
Yes, I need a full transcript, because with Otani, as big of a superstar as he is, I would hate, and you know these players, right? They hate to be misquoted.
Yep.
They hate to be taken out of context. And it's so easy to be taken out of context when you're being, translated through. It just is. So with that, you have a situation here where Otani, through his translator, said supposedly he met this fan who caught his first home run ball as a Dodger, that authentication auction people valued it as over $100,000. That's the worth of the ball.
I think it could be more than that, to be honest. If you hold on to it for time, and this guy's a first ballot, 100% Hall of Famer, what is that ball worth?
First Dodger, first home run as a Dodger.
Yes, that's worth so much money.
And he said through his interpreter, or his list interpreter said that he met the fan.
But the fan says they didn't.
Fan says they never met.
Yeah, that's bad.
And then the fan also says the Dodgers were pressuring her to give them the ball and giving them a low ball offer of just a couple hats that then got bumped up to a couple hats that are signed by Otani and a bat and a ball.
See, it's just, that's not right, because the Dodgers have the perspective of, and I'm not saying give the fan $100,000. I'm not saying that's reasonable, but give them an experience that can't be purchased. Let them meet this star player.
Yeah.
Let them go in the clubhouse. Give them seats behind home plate. Give them things of real value. 2 hats was the initial offer for his first ever home run as an LA Dodger. That is really, I mean, that's a huge slight. I honestly can't believe that would be their offer.
They didn't even get one of those crappy see-through jerseys.
Right.
You can't meet the fan, bro. Like, I know you're
at this point you might have to.
You're a big time superstar. We get it.
At this point, you might have to go to their house for dinner.
Yeah, but now it looks bad.
It looks horrible. And this story is not going away because it's actually been reported in The Athletic, not by some random person.
Right.
You saw Jackson Merrill hit his first home run the other night at Petco Park during the drone show. Guess what? Jackson Merrill met the fan, gave him a signed bat, took a picture with him, posed with the ball. I'm probably sure he got to see inside the clubhouse or something, right? Okay. Yeah, we know Jackson Merrill's not Otani, but that's still pretty cool.
Right. He didn't say he met with the fan, and then we find out that the fan didn't meet him.
Jim Lee the other day at Petco Park met with the fan, gave him autographs, things, took a picture with him, and told him, I'll tell Ha-Seong Kim about you because we know Ha-Seong Kim is your favorite player.
So is this a worse look? This specific instance, the ball caught, home run ball caught. Is this a worse look by Otani? Could be lost in translation. Could be worse. I think it's worse. How are you offering to the fan the first home run ball he's never hit? Here's 2 signed him. Because and then they said that they weren't going to authenticate it if they left with the ball. Is that even legal for them to say that?
Now, I don't know exactly. We don't know what exactly happened. We're just going off of what this woman is describing to the reporters at The Athletic, what the Dodgers did. But if this were to be true, it's just, that's a scummy look for the Dodgers, because everybody knows how important that ball is going to be. Everybody knows how important Shohei Otani is to the history of baseball because of what he's done so far and what he's potentially going to do for the Dodgers. To do that to a fan, I mean, I know this fan is better than I am, or better than you, or better than Brent to kind of go along with it. But imagine if it was another fan who was not going to take that crap.
Well, I don't think the fans really going along with it because they've gone public with it.
True,
But and because they probably realize, because they're probably embarrassed that we had an opportunity to potentially get tens of thousands of dollars in memorabilia, and we were given something that was worth like hundreds of dollars as opposed to tens of thousands of dollars.
They should just be happy it wasn't a non-Dodger fan that got it. Who did he hit it against?
Giants.
So, what if it would have been a Giants fan? It just would have been like, screw you, Dodgers. Yeah. I'm going to extort you for all the money I can get.
I was wondering, when we found out about the gambling allegations and his ties to them, would this be some type of black cloud moment? Mm-hmm. It has not been for the team. I mean, they've played really well, shockingly.
Yeah, they're great.
Otani, now it's so small, like we've said with everyone, the sample size is so small that I don't think we can make any conclusion jumping with his start. He's had a pedestrian start, but again, the team is 7-2. He hasn't been a big reason why that they're winning so far. Do you feel as if any of this behind the scenes off field has gotten to him specifically, or is it too early to say that off 9 games?
It's probably too early. But we know Tony's a very private person. Nobody on the Angels knew that he was married or had his private life or a dog or the Dodgers. And I don't know. To me, that's just a little weird, right?
I said that was weird, and you said initially it's not that weird.
Well, now I say it's weird.
It feels way weirder now that we have the benefit of all this.
My opinions have changed with new information.
All right.
And with new information and things that have come out,
it's weird.
It has become now weird. If that was the only thing, and
I buy it.
You could say it's okay because he's such a popular figure, and especially in Japan, you don't want your private life to get out there because we know how crazy maybe Japan media could be. But now with everything now coming out, you're like, oh, no, that's weird.
It's getting weirder.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have any effect on them because they're not doing anything about it. The gambling got brought up, and it was a simple, oh, no, I didn't do it. Oh, okay, that's good enough for us. No need to investigate anything here.
Is it an active investigation by Major League Baseball? We think it is, right?
It's a quote-unquote active
until we find out on a
investigation.
Friday, July 4th,
exactly.
It's been closed.
Rob Manfred is such a coward. There's 0% chance he would be willing to drop the hammer on Otani.
Imagine that, 162-game suspension
or
for the most marketable player in the history of the sport.
No chance. Guy's a coward and a clown.
Tell us how you really feel.
Is that too harsh?
Not for you.
I go harder, but we have FCC like regulations. That's true. It is offensive to clowns. He is he is a loser and
what if you were at that game and you caught that ball?
Dude,
I don't know. I don't know what would have happened, honestly.
I would have held on to it.
Yeah, probably would have held on to it.
Wasn't it the person that caught Barry Bonds' ball? Didn't he hold on to it for like a week or a month or something?
I thought they got what they
millions.
wanted.
Yeah, I would hold on to that thing for sure.
Me too.
And she tweeted it out because there was a video of her catching it. So that's how people got to see that she caught the ball.
That's amazing. All right, Jim's back page is next. All right, Jim is getting ready for it. It's almost time. Jim's back page next. Real quick before Jim's back page, because we just heard about the madness, right? You can hear the Final Four right here on San Diego Sports 760. Our buddy John Fantis sent out a tweet today. There's so many tweets about guys in the portal, but he mentioned a guy from FAU, Nick Boyd, being in the portal and schools that have reached out to him. Per John Fanta, our buddy, San Diego State is one of 10 schools on the list. What makes it interesting is, well, A, it's FAU. B, Butler, when he hit the shot at the buzzer, Nick Boyd was guarding him. That's pretty fascinating to me. Nick Boyd is in the portal, 6'3" guard. He's had a very good career, obviously. FAU's been outstanding the last 2 years. San Diego State has reached out to Nick Boyd, the player that Butler hit the shot over to win in Houston last year.
Wow.
Kind of interesting, isn't it?
It is interesting.
So we'll keep our eye. There's a lot of names that San Diego State has been tied to. There's a lot of players in the portal. Something like half of college basketball right now is in the transfer portal. All right. Are you ready, Jim? Are you ready? Fully ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Hold on real quick. I have to read this. 619. Guys, what if Otani did meet a fan, but the fan was a Dodger staffer or some woman imposter that the Dodgers told to act as if it was the woman who caught the ball? Otani wouldn't have known who the real fan is. What? That would be incredible.
That is an amazing theory. I didn't even think about that.
That's like crazy evil empire stuff.
Wow. Very good text. Very good theory.
Set up Otani to no.
Then it's like the Dodgers look even worse.
Way worse. All right, carry on.
Okay. So voters in Kansas City rejected a, I guess, ballot measure to renovate Arrowhead Stadium.
They don't need the Chiefs. Chiefs, are they popular?
Patrick Mahomes, the best player in the NFL, and Hall of Famer.
Move to San Diego.
Yeah,
who cares?
Sure.
They don't need them.
Well, the Dallas mayor, Eric Johnson, is now making a push for Kansas City, or the Kansas City Chiefs, to move to his city. In a statement to the Dallas Morning News, quote, Dallas was named the top sports city in the United States because we play to win. As I've said previously, our market is big enough. growing enough, and loves football more than anything to support a second NFL team, especially a franchise with deep roots here. Huh?
No, give me a break. You're going to bring in another franchise to Dallas where the Cowboys are? Yeah, I'm sure that'll go over well.
Did you after the NFL fan surveys last year?
Yeah.
Not fan surveys, the player surveys.
Yeah.
And Clark Hunt, the Chiefs chairman, was voted as an F minus.
I remember you saying
one of the worst owners, and
they're not going anywhere. The Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I don't know about the Royals, but the Chiefs, no way.
Yeah, he says in a tweet, the mayor, the answer to this question is Dallas. Why? We are about to pass the Chicago Metro and become the number 3 metro in the United States, which would make us the largest U.S. metro without 2 teams.
Okay.
Football is king here. Dallas needs an expansion team, and we would be able to sustain 2 NFL teams better than L.A. or New York.
I like San Diego Chiefs.
Do you think the Chiefs could be viewed as an expansion team?
No. I like San Diego Chiefs.
Yeah. A game-used player chair used by Caitlin Clark is going on sale.
The chair that she sits in on the bench?
The folks at the realist.com are auctioning off a chair that Caitlin Clark briefly sat in at the Big Ten tournament.
That's dumb.
With 4 days to go, this is weird. It says game-used player chair used by Iowa women's basketball player number 22 prior to the start of the first quarter at the 10-minute mark on the clock.
Come on. So she sat in a chair.
Guess how much it's going for?
Well, the way you say it.
Auction.
Like $13,000.
Okay, Brent. You have an answer or guess?
$500,000.
No, we're both high. $990.
You guys are way high.
How much?
Still, to even think someone's going to buy this chair for $156.
156?
Yeah.
But that's what the chair's probably worth.
It's a regular chair with the Big Ten logo.
Yeah, people probably want the Big Ten logo chair.
Well, that's not worth $156.
True.
Come on, man. You know today
I heard if you don't what's that?
What were you gonna say? I heard if you what?
If you don't accept the $156 offer, they won't authenticate the chair. Continue on, dumb joke.
Do you
today is it burrito day?
Yes, John.
National Burrito Day?
It's National Burrito Day.
Is Sombrero going big for it?
They are going big for it.
With $5 California burritos at all Sombrero locations from 10 to 8?
They are.
Okay. Great.
Did you just come up with that at the top of your head?
I did.
Very nice. Well, here are some places along with Sombrero Mexican food we cater to. Here's some other places on National Burrito Day with some cool deals.
Okay.
Baja Fresh. April 4th, Baja Fresh is offering a buy one, get one deal on burritos for Club Baja Rewards members. Chipotle, they're offering free delivery for orders of $12 or more. El Pollo Loco is offering buy one, get one burrito on April 4th for customers who belong to the chain's Loco Rewards program. Taco Bell, National Burrito Day. Taco Bell customers who purchase a burrito via the chain's app can redeem a digital offer for 50% off a second burrito of equal or lesser value. The restaurant is also offering Burrito Day deals through third-party delivery apps. A free beefy 5-layer burrito with the purchase of another beefy 5-layer burrito via Uber Eats. Will you take advantage of any of those offers, John? Since I know you're a big burrito guy.
I do love burritos. I absolutely love burritos, but I think Kristen made more.
What you make, tofu?
No, I have no idea. I just get home and
salad.
No, it's something good.
I also learned that, John, you don't cook at all.
Not really.
Like,
I did cut.
nothing.
I cut today celery and potatoes and
You just
onion.
now learn that?
And an onion, but I didn't know what I was doing. The knife blade was huge. It scared the heck out of me.
That's the whole reason he's vegan.
Because I don't know how to eat meat.
Yeah, because he doesn't know how to cook.
All right. If you missed anything today, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify. Find us on social. Search for Jon and Jim. JONANDJIM. Join us tomorrow. We'll hear from Schulte postgame. Padres Giants at 1:30 for Brent and Jim. I'm John. Keep it here. San Diego Sports 760.
Peace out, brother.
Okay.